Hi, welcome to Tuesday night, Scotch on the Bayou, Slàinté, y'all. I'm Leanne, and we're going to be tasting some of Scotland's finest tonight. Some of the few samples I brought back from Scotland. But yeah, just wanted to kind of do a thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you really know that I'm big about drinking samples. Says the woman who has a ton of samples. It is kind of one of those things. It's like I preach better than I practice sometimes. I went through and I cataloged all of the samples that I had prior to our trip this year, and I still haven't cataloged everything that we brought home. And because of that, it was a lot. But samples are so many things other than just a taste of whiskey. And so I want to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Talk about these 4 drams that I've poured. But first, I want to say hello to see who all is in. We've got Jimmy Jazz is in. Great. If any time I can be an excuse for you to go and raid your sample stash, Jimmy, I'm all about it. Let me know how I can help you some more about that. Jennifer is in the house. Jennifer, girl, I got big FOMO. Bill Hensley is over at the Isla Whisky Academy. John McShane is there. They just had their second day, of course, of the week-long thing. So it's been a lot of fun watching it on Facebook, and it's like memories. It's been neat seeing all these people getting stoked about going to the Whiskey Academy over in Isla and getting to experience some of the things that we did. They were at Kilhoman yesterday. So yeah, just some really cool stuff that's going on there. Donner Pass, I feel you, friend. Every time I watch Aquavite, I'm still at work. And so we'll raise a dram for you until you can get home and do it for yourself for sure. Yes, Mark. Hey, friend. 80 samples. Now, some of those were driver drams or the samples that we split when Mark came over from the different tastings we did. We did the tastings at Lagavulin, which we showcased last week or 2 weeks ago. Then there's let's see. I mean, we did Glenallachie, Abelauer, and then Campbelltown was let's see, Glen Scotia, Springbank, just a whole lot. Glen Grant, lots and lots of things. I came home with samples from Glengarry that I didn't get to taste yet. I mean, she's like, here, have samples. The samples that I got, oh my gosh, at Glenmorangie. I was driving that day, so they just loaded me up with some samples and some single casks from Glenmorangie. So some of those, but the people that I encountered, the over, I don't know, 30, 40 people that I got to meet when we were over there that we've known through this interweb space. Those are the people that some of those folks I'm highlighting tonight in the samples that they gifted me. And I say gifted me because it's a gift. It's more than whiskey in a little bottle. It's more than just what's in this bottle. It was, I want to give a part of me to you because this is something I enjoy and I want to share that with you. And the whole idea of sharing is caring. You really do get this warm fuzzy from the generosity of our whiskey community with the way we share samples, right? So my challenge to you all is go raid the sample pile and find a couple and let me know what you're going to be drinking tonight as we go through these. Want to say hey to Kathy is in. Hey, friend. Good to see you here. Jim, Kim Rhetoric, hopper in. Yeah, lots of fun. Oh, yay. Troopers going on vacay. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I'm sure you're worn out. You've been out on the rigs for a while, bud. Hey, Rob, great to have you in. Let me know what you're drinking. Whiskey Franco, Martin, I know that you've got something good, and I know you've got to have scads of samples too. It's interesting getting how we get samples to each other. that can be mm, a little tricky at times, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Hey, Gregor is in. Hey, time for a dram. Good to see you, friend. He knows a thing or two about some samples. We did a blind together, and one of the blinds was the rest of a sample someone gave him. And I absolutely went nutsy cuckoo over that sample. And it turned out to be the Isle of Race's inaugural release. So, y'all, I mean, someone was so generous to send it to Gregor, and Gregor was so generous to send it to me. And that's the beauty of our whiskey community. That's the beauty of samples, right? So I'm going to start off by showing you this guy. So well, let me back up just a second. So as you know, we had this epic trip, absolutely epic trip this summer. I was there for 3 weeks. Mark came over for 2 of those 3 weeks. It was unbelievable being able to meet all those folks. And those 3 folks, we'll start out with this one. I leave next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday to go back over for a really quick trip. I'm actually going to be going to the Glasgow Whiskey Festival. How this trip dropped in my lap, you know what? We'll just call it serendipity. The planets aligning, whatever it needed, whatever celestial being had to happen, it happened. So I'm just going over for a week, but it's already packed full. And I want to show you this lovely picture. This, you guys, this is Graham Fraser. If you're a barfly, if you're on the Barflies Facebook page, if you are part of Akavite's chat, you understand who this person is. Graham was so generous to come down from Sterling, come down on the train to Glasgow, meet us at the SMWS Bath Street, their bar in Glasgow. And we had the best afternoon. I don't know. I think we spent 3 or 4 hours there, Mark. I can't even remember. Then went across the street to the Good Spirits store, Roddy's shop, and got to visit a little bit more there. But we had the best time. You know, I had a few things I wanted to give him, and he gave me some samples. And so my first dram is going to be a sample from Graham. What I'm super stoked about is that Graham is, he and I are going to spend an entire day together. I am going to take the train next week or week after next. I'm taking the train up to Sterling. And from Sterling, he and I are going to go up to Deanston. Well, first, actually, we're going to go to the Grail Whiskey shop. And if you don't follow the Grail tastings, it is Jen and Rachel. If you listen to the Dram Face podcast that Gregor actually hosts on Dram Face, please go back and listen to it. They are an absolute riot. And after listening to the podcast, it was like, I have to meet these women who have their own whiskey shop in Callender, just kind of northwest of Deanston. So, Graham and I are going to go up there, meet Jen and Rachel, or whichever one may be working that day. And then we're going to go spend the day at Deanston. I think we have 2 different tastings that we're going to be doing there, having lunch, going back to Sterling, probably hitting another whiskey shop, and just, enjoying the entire day. And then just get me to the train. And 40 minutes later, I'm back 2 blocks from where I'm staying in Glasgow. It's going to work out perfectly. Well, Graham gave me a couple of samples, and let me pop in here real quick. I want to say, hey, for a couple of people. Oh no, Kathy, I'm sorry you're not feeling well, friend. Yes, please stay hydrated. The whiskey will wait. No worries about that, my dear. Please feel better. Get lots of rest, because that's just no fun at all. But we'll have one for you. And if you're not on medication, maybe a hot toddy down the road may work. I'm not sure. So Mark says he's tried to get many different distilleries and bottles that you could never would without the generosity of the community. Absolutely. These drams especially this. There's this one over here I am going to save that Graham gave me. There's no way I would have. I mean, I would be able to get to these. Most of these, for me, are not even sold in the US. Now, there's some. This first one is, and it is attainable. I wanted to have one that was attainable that you could actually get. But yeah, Mark, the perfect example of that, of just having things that there's no way that we would be able to enjoy. That's for sure. Um, how how did I get Graham to smile? Oh, you've met me. I mean, come on. I get everybody to smile eventually, one way or the other. Hey, Stacy, good to see you. Cheers from Four Leaf Whiskey and all things Irish. There's a girl in the girl. She got her whiskey chops all the way around, so she knows her Scotch as well. Molasses is in. Hey, Mike, great seeing you here. Yeah, so here is our first sample, and that is, let's see if we can do it. A Glenallachie 10-year batch 6. So this is a batch strength at 57.8. These are all cast strength tonight, guys. So the adorableness may get there. I poured small samples of this. So for example, this is a very small bottle, right? But I've maybe 2/3 are in the glass. So just look at that color. Oh my gosh. Crazy casking on this. So 10-year batch of, let me get this right, PX and Oloroso puncheons. Rioja, okay, help me out phonetically, Jennifer, on the wine. It's a Spanish wine, isn't it? Rioja, Rioja, Barriques, and virgin oak. So you've got sherry to the masses, and then a red wine, and then a virgin oak. So when you think about that, hey, I pronounced it right. Yes. I'm so happy. Yeah, Mike, just molasses, go grab that batch 6. Oh my goodness. I have to have some water. I'm in awfully chatty. When you have other people on with you, you're not constantly talking. And you can take a breath. But let me know what y'all are drinking. What samples, Jimmy Jazz? Tell me what sample you went and grabbed. Oh, you got, I mean, true to the form. You're gonna get, it's a Glenallachie. You're gonna get a lot of sherry. But this is now, I didn't taste any of these ahead of time. See there? Martin says, I have smiled 5 times since we started this. Thank you very much. Might be the 68% bourbon. Yeah, that might have. I'll claim it though. Thank you. So Rob is he's finishing off a sample of a signatory Glenlivet 13-year first fill sherry butt, and at a whopping 63.4. Anybody drinking anything under 60 ABV tonight? I mean, this is barely at 57.8. Yeah, this is sherry bomb nose, but it's got a lot of chocolate hints to it, almost like a creamy milk chocolate and like a stewed cherry, chocolate covered cherries. Oh my gosh. Ow. Ooh. So I need to back up for this. This is first dram tonight. Super, super sweet on the front end. And the chocolate kind of comes through. Again, big stewed fruits, but it's almost a little salted caramel at the end and the finish. got a heat of pepper, like cracked pepper, almost spice. Very warming, long finish, long finish. 10 years, very nice. It's bright though. It's not bright as in like a young whiskey might be, but almost a little citrus hint on it. Chocolate, citrus, cherries. Good. But you never quite know like what to gift somebody, right? If you know someone is looking for something, or if you kind of know their profile, that is something that you can kind of like figure out what they might like. Gregor, tell me if you're still on, friend, which episode it is that you all talk about putting the sample packs together based. So like you can give somebody a bottle, or you can give somebody like, a tchotchke for whiskey or something like that. But there's something to say, like, I love the episode because y'all equated it to back in the old days where we would make a mixtape for like our girlfriend or boyfriend, and this way you could put together a set of samples for a particular person, things that that they would be like really excited about, or that they would never have a chance to try. So when I went over the summer, I took whiskeys I knew there was no way they would be able to get them over in the States. Since found that, over in the UK, but there are. So I took over a Still Austin cast strength bourbon and a Andalusia Striker single malt from Texas. You may have caught my interview with their co-founder, Ty Phelps, a couple of weeks ago. And then I also took a 100% rice mash bill whiskey from Louisiana that looked this dark. It looked this dark, and it gets hot down here. What can I say? And that was a huge hit. Most people, I didn't tell them what it was, and they thought it was some kind of bourbon, but they didn't realize it was 100% rice. Crazy. Yeah. So awesome. So you're gonna raid your dad's. Oh, tell him I said hey. Tell him your folks. I said hey. Gonna raid some of the Courage and Conviction. That stuff's good stuff. Oh, yay. Batch 6. Tell me what you think. What kind of notes are you getting on it? For sure. Hey Bruce. Got the Glenallachie rocking too. The ryewood finish at 48. You're the sensible one in the house tonight, evidently. And Jimmy's like, I don't know what I'm drinking. It's unlabeled, and so far you think it's a blend from someone that you met at the Bonacor. Pretty damn good. Like, why is it okay that we take whiskey from complete strangers? My last dram was from a stranger. So I totally get you. And you don't even think anything of it. Well, of course I'm going to take this and drink it that you gave me. I don't know you from Adam walking off the street, but in context, you knew that they were at the Bonaccord. They were with other people you knew. You have to be smart about this, right? But still, so label your samples, then you gift somebody so that they can then go back to you, or you can go back to them depending on how you give it, and tell you what you thought about the dram. I had to write that on all of these because nobody had their name on them. But yeah, so write your name on the labels. George Kaplan, I don't know if he's in tonight. I haven't seen. Has the best labels on a sample you'll ever see. He's down to when the bottle was opened. All the things about it. It's fantastic. Fantastic. Hey, John, great to see you. Thanks for coming in and let me know what you're drinking. So it's like on the sherry spectrum, this is the opposite of an Edredauer. Um, so tell me what you mean about that. I'm interested to see. I'm gonna leave a wee bit. Actually, just got a little teeny drop of water in that scooch that's left over. Um, Let me see who else is on. Everybody's having fun. I love it when everybody's talking. Hey, Major Zero, great to see you. Check out his channel if you have not already. He's growing it like mad and puts out some super content. Super content. Thanks for being here. Hey, Rick. Good to see you. Tell me what you're having tonight. Did you find a sample bottle? I know that you, Major Zero, all y'all got sample bottles. Go find them. You know, a little water will do. I'm gonna have to go back and revisit that one, but for time's sake. So the next two drams were gifted by an individual who I really wish could have been on tonight. You all know him. He's between Graham and Andrew Butler. The wealth of knowledge between those two gentlemen. Both of them keep tiny little notebooks in their pockets, and they write down the tasting notes on every dram they have. Both times when I met with each of them, when we had our drams, we sat there, we tasted, and they studiously pulled that notebook out and wrote down their notes. Andrew, I believe, has every one except for every little tiny notebook he's ever had, except for the one he had in his pocket when he got mugged in London, and the police took it and they had it for evidence and put some chemicals on it to try to get fingerprints, and he couldn't get it back, but that they truly are students of whiskey. And so y'all, this is Andrew Butler. We met Andrew, Mark and I did, at the Melody Bar in London. He took the train. Do you hear a theme here? People took trains to come and see Leanne, which totally blows my mind. But Andrew is an absolute delight. Hilarious. So very cool to finally got to meet him in person. And we were all packed. And if you hear my Mark tell this story, it is an absolute riot because y'all, we were packed to the gill, 17 bottles, all these samples. We had already ditched like 2 pair of shoes, probably more information than you wanted to know, but got rid of some of Mark's underwear that needed to go away. And we are at 50 pounds for each of those bags, each of the big bags. And then we have our carry-ons. And I had a little sussy gift and some samples and some different things, of which was that rice whiskey that I told you about from Louisiana that Andrew ended up loving, sending me an email later telling me how much he loved it. It's so very cool, right? So he says, well, here, and he gives me a gallon bag of samples, y'all. It was a dozen samples all packed up. And I see my husband's face just kind of go white. Like, not that he wasn't upset. He was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're, such a beautiful gift of these samples. But my husband was like, where in the hell are we going to put those in the bag? And it's like, you know what? You can buy more clothes. We got rid of a couple of other things, moved some stuff around from one to the other, and we still made it underweight, rocking and rolling. So yes, he gave me a dozen samples. We're going to have 2 of those tonight. And these are a prime example of there's no way in God's green earth that I would ever be able to experience these. So let's talk about that word, experience. When you're having a sample like this, you're not just drinking whiskey. It's a whole experience. It's the fact that this first one, both of them, let's put it this way, both of these samples are Dornoch Castle, Thompson Brothers. The first and the third cask ever. The first cask, their inaugural cask. If you could find one on auction, right? I mean, their inaugural cask. He even did a cover of a picture of the label. Y'all, cask 1 of Dornoch. So let's talk about that one. He's not here tonight because he is literally on his way to Dornoch Castle Whiskey Festival this weekend. I think he's in Edinburgh tonight. So he knew he was going to have to sleep and not be up at 2 a.m. like he normally is to be on the show. So yeah, let's talk about this first cask of that one. Oh my goodness. So this is only 3 years old. They started production in 2017. Now, as an independent bottler, Thompson Brothers, buys cask and buys, I don't know if they buy spirit to put in their own cask yet, but they do some really fun stuff. I know Mark JG's been up there. I know Gregor, you've been up there for sure. Oh my goodness. So this is at 59.4 ex Oloroso Sherry Solera cask. So basically, it is an Oloroso Solera butt that was made from American oak. And they use the Plumage Archer was their barley varietal, and they use brewer's yeast. So look at that. So an Oloroso Sherry butt, Solera butt. Oh man, at 3 years old. You know how like really young whiskey you get like almost this kind of pungent acetone sometime, just very almost chemically, because that spirit just hasn't had time to like lay down into the wood very long. That's very easy. I mean, yeah, I'm all the way in here at 59.4 and there's no my nose hairs are intact. Let's put it that way. All right, let's go back. So John's finishing a pour of Balcones peated single malt. Yum. Those are, I got a couple of kind of those, I think. How much Indoor did you bring, Mark? Probably too much. That's why they're gone. Yay. Gregor's back. So yes, and I was talking about you a little bit. I don't know. I'll have to go back and kind of see if I hit it, but I was talking about putting some drams together for someone like you were talking about on Dram Face podcast, like making a mixtape. And if you remember what episode that is, drop that in the chat for me, friend. Because I'm going to tell you that if y'all got to go to grandma's house for Thanksgiving or something, just put Dram Face on and let it roll. You'll be laughing your tail off. I get a lot of wine notes on this. I don't know how in the world I'm going to get through these other 30 minutes. May go a little long tonight. Oh, goodness. It's spirity on the taste. I think the youth is coming out there, but what is that? It's like fig, kind of that. That is fig. That's like fig preserves. And ginger, little warm, little real. It's a little hot on the taste. Oh, goodness, Matthew. Hey, friend, thanks for being in. You panic drank samples the night before packing to leave Scotland just to make your luggage weight. Oh, friend. Even with the extra luggage, I know because someone's having a good time when they send you a message and say, "Hey, Lee, do you know where I can get a hard sell side suitcase in Edinburgh?" Yeah, anytime. So figs and raisins, that's what I'm getting. Golly bum, big time on the raisin right now, which is kind of odd for Oloroso because I get more raisin on a PX. Wow, man. Okay, I'm gonna put a little. Even this has got some chocolate notes to it. I'm gonna put a scooch of water on this. Hey, everyone's in. Hey, friend, good to see you. If y'all didn't catch mine and Gregor and Chris's Ardna America show last week, just go find it. It was so much fun. It's been lighting up too this week. So good. And hey, Tater Dom's in. Cheers. Slàinté, friend. So Bruce says, I never packed for my trip in Scotland last July, but had enough room to bring back several bottles. Well, I'm proud of you because um, Mark got an awakening. I wouldn't say it was rude awakening. I would just say it was like an awakening and a reckoning when he's like, "How many bottles do you have, Leanne?" I'm like, "I got 17 bottles and 80 samples, honey, and they're all coming back to Baton Rouge, one way or the other." And they did. You have no idea how fast we got through customs. It's gonna be fun. There is no way in the world the first cask of Dornoch Distillery would ever darken the doorstep at my house if not for the sample. Absolutely scrumptious. It's like dessert in a sip. That is just amazing. So the next one is the third cask. So this first one was 3 years old, and the ex Oloroso sherry butt. This one, it's a little lighter. All right, let me do this. So what's left of this, you can see that this is definitely sherry. This is, oh man, we got 2 more years on this one. The first cask was bottled at 3 years. The third cask was bottled at 5 at 60 ABV. Now I'm up there with Martin and a couple of you other folks. Oh my goodness. This is first fill bourbon octaves, an octave cask that only produced 84 bottles. Can we sit here for a minute and just think about that? 84 bottles. And I got a sample of one of them all the way over here because of the generosity of this community. It's just amazing. I get really kind of overwhelmed about it sometimes when you think about it. It's just, you get a little imposter syndrome with some Wayne's World, I'm not worthy kind of thing, kind of working there. And yeah, so this is first fill bourbon, golly, octave. And I'm sure if you know, octaves are an eighth of T90. I mean, I saw a couple of them, and I know Gregor knows what I'm talking about. There's a couple of them at Rosse over when you go in one of the warehouses. They're on the far right on the top rack. It's like for a little bit, I think if I could get off the island fast enough, I think I could grab it and run like hell. I'm just saying. Oh, man. Martin, you're just in time. Thanks for being here, friend. Slàinté. Go find you a couple of drams, a couple of samples, and let us know. Yeah, it was with Jen and Rachel in Scott Monroe. And yeah, we'll start driving. I'll go back through and find which one that is. But it was a really good idea. It was like around the Christmas time. I want to say it was around the Christmas time. And it was the whole idea about what to buy people for Christmas, whiskey friends. And it was like, just curate them a flight, of what they would like. And to me, quintessential Scotch is a bourbon matured whiskey. It's just so lovely. This has some, what is that? What is that? It's got a little bit of a tropical note to it. I don't know. A little honeysuckle. Definitely bourbon matured. Wow. Rich cream brulee, orange. Wow. The difference in 2 years between a 3-year and a 5-year. Man. It's almost like something creamy that you're almost like a whipped cream, maybe dreamsicle almost on the nose. Slightly orange. Mm, 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 mm. Yep. Oh my goodness. That one's got a very super long finish. Really long finish. Holy smoke, that is just amazing. Again, the 3rd cask ever out of Dornoch. So if you don't know where that is, Dornoch Castle, well, Dornoch itself, the little town, is between Glenmorangie and Clynelish and Brora, up on the northeast coast, kind of. Once you get past Inverness and you go up kind of this coastal road, it's absolutely stunning. And you just kind of turn off to the right, and you're in this beautiful little hamlet with this castle hotel. And the bar there is world renowned. And the sons of, I think the owners, it's the sons that are the Thompson brothers, started kind of doing their own picks and things like that, and ended up doing their own independent bottling. And they are one of the independent bottlers that were nominated for the Oswas this year. So if you see things online, we're not, I don't know, state folks, have you ever seen a Thompson Brothers on a shelf in the United States of America? No, I don't think they get over here, but you can certainly order them and find places that will send them over. And if you don't know, then maybe you can get a sample from such a lovely soul as Andrew Butler. Wow. This I would want to sit. This one I'm going to sit for a while. Post show. This one's going to take its time. It's just like this creme brulee. I guess that's what I'm kind of getting. It's got this the mouthfeel to it has evolved from the 3 to 5 year. Just delightful. Man, goodness gracious. Wanted to see yeah, so Matt says they was going to ask about who won the distillery bracket poll. I just finished the podcast yesterday and it was a cracking episode. It's binge worthy, y'all. Just especially for us in the States, just to hear all those Scottish accents. I'm gonna tell you, it's awesome. It's so awesome. It really is. Yeah. Goodness. Let's see who all else is on. Yay. So yeah, Mark was saying, our customs person in New Orleans was great. We got in about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, huh, babe? And she was like, so what did you do on your trip? And I said, we drove all over Scotland. I mean, all over. And we put 1,300 miles on a rental car. They got like 65 miles a gallon because it was a hybrid. And I was like, wow, okay, might have to think about that next car purchase. Um, and then she said, well, did you buy anything and bring it back? And I said, yeah, some shortbread cookies and some whiskey. And she went, okay, have a good night. And I turned 90 degrees and I pushed that cart with the 2 bags of 17 bottles and 80 samples like really fast. That's yeah. So Rick's saying that the at San Francisco, the customs person asked if we had anything that we wanted to declare, and I responded no, and they passed us through. So just no, I don't have anything. I'm flying Aer Lingus to and fro this time, and you actually go through U.S. Customs in Dublin. So I'll just be able to go through. I'm not checking a bag, not checking a bag over there. I'm going to go with a small roller. I'm going to try to mitigate my buying. I think I did enough this summer. But I know I've got a couple things probably already, and then and I'll check it when I come back. And I actually thank you with the money I got reimbursed with from British Airways, losing my bag for a week during that trip. I actually bought some of the tiles. I'm an Android girl, so the Apple tags don't work for my phone, but the tiles do. And so I'll have both my bags tagged so that I can Bluetooth and find them and make sure I know that the sucker got on the plane, which did not happen the last time I went to Edinburgh. But yeah. So Rob is having Abelard Abuna batch 52. That's a fair little bit back there. Interesting. Let us know how you like it. And now Martin's backing off the 68 ABV bourbon and is now going with a 50%er. Okay. That's all the good things in moderation, right? Okay, so you heard it here, folks. K&L in California is an exclusive on Thompson Brothers in the US. That's very interesting to know. Very interesting. I wonder if they ship to Louisiana. Let's see. Hey, Brian. Hey, friend. Good to see you here. Coco, check his channel out. He's an amazing individual. Did I lie about the cookies? No, I brought cookies back. I actually stopped in Dufton. Avalar. Yeah. No, it was Dufton. At the Walker's factory and bought them the day I left. And for souvenirs for my friends, from mom, dad, and my brother. Yep. Still got our 10. I love them. Love them. Y'all, that cast 3. I don't even want to Google and see what's on there. Speaking of Googling, I will tell you one other dram. I'll show you this one. I'm going to hold on to this for a little while. This is another one that Graham gave me. Y'all. This well, you can't really see. It's beautiful color. I don't know if you can see the color. Very interesting. I still can't believe this, y'all. This is a rare malts. Port Ellen, 1978, a 20-year expression at 60.9. Y'all. A Port Ellen. A 20-year-old Port Ellen. So that I have a couple of samples I have really, and I think these door knocks are going to go there too. The rest of them, where they're like, okay, the big day or something, we're just going to put those there. I got a birthday coming up. Well, actually, I'll be spending my birthday in Glasgow this year. But maybe the next one is a really big day. I don't know. I'll have to have that before then. But there is no way in the world I would ever happen upon a 20-year-old Port Ellen. Not going to happen. Not when I was in 8th grade then. Okay. Let's go to my fourth dram. I'm not really adorable. I'm just giddy over all of these drams. I just can't. Mm, mm, okay, super. So evidently KNL in California is the place to be. Thanks for letting us know. And all those from California, please raise your hand so we can hit you up. So Bruce says that he came through customs in Philadelphia twice. Second time they agreed it was red tape. Polite way to say it. Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Um, oh my goodness. Look who just crawled up in the chat. Friend. Hey, Bradley from Australia. Goodness gracious. I'm guessing it's the afternoon. I hope it's the afternoon for you over there. So good to see you, friend. And I hope you're doing well. And thanks so much for all the support. I know you had a fabulous trip to Scotland this year. Would love to have been able to see you as you were flying across the states to get there. But so very happy that you're on tonight, friend. I hope y'all are all doing well and that the bees are all doing well. Bradley has the willow tree apiary and has lots of bees. Oh man. Okay, Jennifer, this one's going to be for you. So, as one does when you go to Scotland and you're able to go to these different distillery tours and on, we're in Campbelltown and we are at Glen Scotia, and I'm just again giddy because the guy Ian McAllister is going to come. He was supposed to be in that day, and I'd written in email wise. I was trying to get his tasting, but it wasn't being held on the day that we were going to be there. And I was like, if he's available, I would love to just say hello. He wasn't supposed to work that day, but he came in anyway to say hello. I'm like, really? Thank you. Just absolutely delightful man. And golly, bum does he make good whiskey. I am a self-proclaimed Glen Scotia fangirl. Ask Mark JG. He's right there along with me. He and I go back and forth over the 15 or Victoriana, back and forth. Friendly discussions. But there was a couple there that was at that tasting that we went, the warehouse tasting at Glen Scotia. Marcus and Maria from Germany, and just hit it off. Had a great time visiting with them as you kind of go through all the tastings, and you could tell she was really into it. Like he was a little bit along for the ride, which was kind of funny because Mark and Marcus were kind of there to the sidekicks of the wives in the family who were like, hell yeah, we're here for the whiskey. It was lovely. Just fantastic people. And so then we start talking, well, what else are you gonna do? Oh, we're going to Isla. We're going to Isla. Oh, we're gonna do Bunnahabhain with David Brody. It's like, oh, we're gonna do the same thing. So you see them from place to place, right? Well, this is Marcus and Maria, and they were just wonderful. And because of the whole Brexit thing and the issue with being able to they could only take like 1 or 2 bottles back. Before Brexit, they could take as much as they could haul back, and now here they could only take so much. So they were over, I want to say, for like 2 or 3 weeks at this point, and they were opening bottles because they knew they were going to have to consume them. And she was pouring samples like mad. And this one, Jennifer, if you're still on, dear, I know you've got a million things going on. This is going to be in your wheelhouse. I'm going to have to save the rest of this for you. But but yeah, she even brought snacks. She even brought snacks for us to eat, different chocolates and cookies and things during the Bunnahabhain Warehouse 9 tour. It was amazing. But this, she said, here, I want to give this to you. This is when we were in Springbank. So yeah, so we did the Springbank tour, Glen Scotia, and the Bunnahabhain Warehouse 9. They were just so much fun people. But this is a Lechic 9-year in a Bordeaux red wine cask, y'all. At what is the ABV on this one? This is 56.8. Oh, we going a little light now. Fully matured in Bordeaux red wine, so not a cask, European oak. So it wasn't just, in bourbon for a while and then over. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh man. So I mean, just being able to go over, from Ardnamurchan we popped over to Tobermory. They were in their silent season and weren't really we didn't really have time to do the tour, but I knew we weren't gonna be able to do much there. You don't get much smoke at all on the nose, because none of these others are peated or smoked. Just a little bit of a whiff. This is very cool. So Jimmy Drez and Rick Johnson have now found kindred souls among each other. Oh my goodness. So the nose. Now see, Rick, when did you go to Isla Whiskey Academy? What year? Jennifer and I were October 2019. And most people think that Jennifer and I really knew each other and were friends and went over, but we didn't. I mean, she reached out to me before we left, and we met on, and spoke on the phone and emailed, but I didn't know her before then. And then I just there's no way. There's no way. I was like, how can I not have this person in my life? She's so awesome. 2021. Wow. So you were coming out of the other side of the weird world to go, that's amazing. It is truly something, huh, Rick? I mean, just, yeah, I'm so excited for those who are doing that today. Hey, George, no problem, friend. I was paying you high compliment on the way that you label your samples. You're like the grand king of that, because I mean, especially the point of when you open the bottle. I love that. The nerdy, geeky, technical writer person in me just is all over that amount of information. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Rob's moving up the chain of Aberlour Abunos to 68. He's on a sherry kick. Big Tom. I mean, I get a little red wine nose on this, but it doesn't scream wine, I get more wine off the taste. A little tannin there towards the end. Some Glen Grant. Was it that 15 or the 12? Ooh, tell us. And I'm guessing you're at your folks tonight and you're having to raid his stash instead of your own. That's okay. So again, I know I'm used to drinking cask strength whiskey, but all of these samples were high ABV. 56.8, this one, the Slàinté is the lightest ABV of any of them. And they're all, I'm getting my whole nose in there and nothing's doing any damage. Now I'm getting a little smoke. Not getting a whole lot off of that either. And the thing I find about leche is they're very balanced. You don't tend to have there's the smoke and the peats coming out in the finish. Just took about 3 sips and there it is. It's almost like it's had to build up. Does that make sense? That reminds me of the Ardent American, Jennifer, that we did. It's like you got the smoke and the peat like after the third or fourth sip where it just kind of built upon itself like that. Yeah. Hey, Tiller's Bourbon Challenge is in. Hey, friend, thanks for coming in. Good to see you. Cheers. There it is. That's the one I meant to hit. Let us know what you're drinking. Oh, there we go. Still Austin cast strengths. So Chris, and from Still Austin was here for the Louisiana Bourbon Festival. And oh my gosh, the new high rye bottle and bond is just amazing. It's the one with the horse on the label. And it's that same gorgeous stylized artist, gorgeous label, absolutely gorgeous label that the musician has. And I'm trying to think what the other names are. But yeah, we did a fun session with him where he had us blend to a controlled sample. So we had one bottle that was the control, and then we had 4 bottles where we had to figure out how to blend those 4, maybe using them all, maybe not, to get what the control was. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Well, George, I didn't know you were feeling bad too, friend. Hope you feeling better. We will have some for you. You and Kathy just need to go take to your respective sick beds and get you some rest. It is that time of year where all the bugs kind of come around, so everybody has to take care of yourself. Y'all, just man, that's a good dram too. So tonight, I mean, we've gone through, 4 drams from 3 different people that I was lucky enough to get to know, either through someone else's channel like Graham and Barflies. Andrew he's on there from time to time, but he's a mainstay here on our channel and in our chat. Gets up at 2:00 in the morning, took a train. Both he and Graham took a train to meet us, while we were over there. Just happened upon this lovely couple from Germany that knew that I was as passionate about whiskey as Maria was, and she wanted to share what she really enjoyed. If you're ever available, if you're ever in a spot where you can share whiskey, please do it. Help somebody get something that they're looking for. All last week's show was about the Ardent American, and it was about not being able to get that bottle where I was. And Chris went and boots on the ground, was able to secure those bottles for me and Gregor, and then we sat there and it's like, man, I really wish we could share that together. And we did. We were just in 3 different states and 3 different time zones, but it happened, figure out don't be afraid to ask for a sample either. Hey, I'm really, Ardent American is like one of those big things that everybody's talking about. Roy has his 2 bottles. Not everybody can just go and drop money on 2 of those bottles and have them shipped to the States. If you know somebody, hello, me, if you know somebody and you really would like to try one of those, then hit them up. It may take a while for get to you, logistics and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, really try to, explore different things and try to gift as you can. What you give out will come back to you tenfold, whether it's whiskey or anything else in life, right? Yep. So, Jimmy Jazz, I'm so excited about trains. I'm taking the train to Sterling on Tuesday, the 7th. Yeah. And then I'm going to take the train to Edinburgh on the 9th. And I'm going to go see Port of Leith, the new distillery there. I'll go back to Holyrood and a couple of other things I don't really want to talk about just yet, but I get to maybe go do while I'm over in Edinburgh. So that I'm pretty stoked about. Yes, it's not whiskey till it's shared. And I'm super stoked about getting to see that guy. So the Oswas will be announced when I'm over there, the day I get there. So I'm trying to see if we're going to have a watch party somewhere. Surely, to goodness, there'll be a watch party. If they don't know what watch parties are, we're going to have to educate them on that. Hope to get to see Peter Lee and get to the restaurant. So Friday night, I think there's a function. Saturday is going to be the Glasgow Whiskey Festival. And then Sunday, there's a wrap up. And I'm going to go see one more of my boy band members. Louis Tomlinson is playing that Sunday night in Glasgow before I head home on Monday. I will say that next, I will try very hard to do a live show on that Tuesday, the 7th. So it's going to probably be a little earlier in the States, but not nearly as late for the UK. It depends on what kind of condition I'm in when I get back from Stirling and being out with at Deanston all day. So that should be interesting. But yeah, should have really good Wi-Fi in Glasgow as opposed to no Wi-Fi in Campbelltown from last time. So we'll try to do that. Now, until then, next week, y'all, Halloween is next Tuesday night. I know those with kids have a big agenda, and that's your first priority. If you want to come stop by, we're going to have a lot of surprises. Camp Drammers, check the membership page on YouTube. I sent out a video about that. I would like to hear from some of you. I'm looking at you, Whiskey Franco. I'm looking at you, Martin and George. Yeah, if Jim's still on, I'm looking at you, Whiskey Camp Drammers. I know Jennifer's in, but we're going to have some fun next week. It's all going to be about spooky spirits. So right now, think about what spirit you want to drink. What's your spookiest spirit? It could be something as like scary, like White Walker. or it could just be something that, is nice and smoky or whatever, something like that. But we're going to have a ton of fun next week on Halloween. So I hope you all can be doing that. You'll be oh, please, you've got to do that. Awesome. So handing out candy, let me know when you're going to be back. I'm serious. I would love to see that costume very much so. It will be kind of scary. You will see me like you have never seen me before. Let me put it that way. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll have fun next week on that. If you have some samples, post them on social, hit hashtag drink your samples. I started that a couple years ago, and I love how going back to that hashtag, you can see everybody's, contribution to that. Don't forget to thank the person who gave you a sample and enjoy that. Guys, thank you all so very much. Which one is this? Oh my gosh. I just went back to that cask one. And now I'm getting maple syrup on it. Wow. Fig maple syrup. I mean, it's not like Fig Newton either. It's like fresh figs. Wow. This is amazing. Just amazing. Amazing. White Walker is frightening. I mean, I saw what they look like on TV, but that's not near as frightening as what's in that bottle. Just saying. Anyway, guys, thank y'all so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Send a link to Whiskey Buddy. We'd love to grow the channel some more. Hit the like button, all the things. And I will be back next Tuesday in a completely different uh, persona. We'll say that. And until then, Slàinté, y'all.